Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of A Safe Space for Men. I'm your host as usual. Before we get started, as always, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, and download to the podcast. I truly appreciate it. Excuse me. Uh, what's going on this week? This week we had the 4 year anniversary of Kobe's death. Uh, I remember I remember when it happened. I remember exactly where I was at, what I was doing. I was helping a friend move, and it came across the TV, then it hit the phone, and then they retracted it. I think TMZ dropped it first, and then they were like, "Oh no, it was a mistake." And then he dropped it again, like, "Oh, it was him and all his kids." Then he took it back, like, "Oh no," then it was him and all his kids and like some other basketball players. And I remember probably like 3 hours later, that's when it finally came out. Like, yeah, it was him and his daughter. And I just I remember like it was like a really really sad time. That was probably like the first time, probably other than maybe when Paul Walker died. Like suddenly, I think he died like in a car accident. But I remember when like Kobe died, it was like it really hurt. Like, you know what I mean? It felt like I lost like somebody, like a cousin, like somebody I really knew. Um, only because excuse me, he was doing like the things he was doing for women's basketball. I mean, obviously I liked him as a basketball player, but his post basketball life was about to be amazing in my opinion. I think his post basketball life was going to be way better than his actual basketball career. Just to be honest, again, but the things he was doing for women's basketball, like you saw a different side of him after he retired. Because I've never been a Lakers fan, but watching him play basketball like growing up, he never let you in on like that side of him, that soft side of him, that nice side of him until after he retired. And I don't know, he was a lot more relatable. Again, just being a father with girls and all girls. He basically started the whole girl dad movement. Which turned into like boy moms and boy dad and girl mom, whatever. But just the shit he was doing with his kids, man, especially with his daughter, like she was like just the spitting image of him as far as like basketball. But I felt like just the attention and awareness he was bringing to women's basketball was really about to be like life changing. You know what I'm saying? And they're probably still gonna be fine, but it's just like having that big name behind the machine, and just again bringing awareness, because women's basketball doesn't get the amount of attention that it should, because they have some really great basketball players. But yeah, I remember being like I said, it was really devastating. I was sad. I mean, this wasn't a one day thing. We were like, I don't remember the exact like day of the week it happened, but I just remember for about like 2 weeks, 2 maybe 3 weeks, like we all were just like sad. Everybody was bummed out. The NBA shut down games for like 3 days. It was sad. I remember I cried. Like it really hurt. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring attention to that because I know like his anniversary just passed. Something else that just passed. My grandma's birthday was on the 27th. She would have been 86. That's why I got sitting out front. She would have been 86, and that's kind of what this episode is going to be about. I want to talk about my grandma. I want to talk about grandmothers, but my grandma basic mostly for the most part, and just how like I don't know. I feel like just the landscape of grandmothers has changed. Like I don't ever remember my grandmother being young. You know what I mean? Like I always remember my grandmother being like a grandmom's age, like 50 and over, or like I never had a 30-something-year-old grandmother, which is what we have a lot going on nowadays, which is also the reason I think you have so much like crime and young kids getting in trouble, and young kids having kids. I think because you don't have that structure that you need, that big mama and abuela, whatever it is in your community or heritage, like you need that, because they have all the wisdom and they have most of the answers to all your questions. They can guide you, they can teach you, they can lead you. And right now we really just have kids leading kids. But yeah, her birthday was on the 27th. She would have been 86. My grandmother was she was the best grandmom. She was really loving. She cared so much about family. She was really religious. She was giving. And when I say like loving, I mean like you could. I remember it was in the summertime. We was like out on the porch, and like a homeless guy was walking on the street. You could tell he was like homeless, maybe slash a junkie, But he was just walking down the street, and she saw him, and she was like, she just stopped him. She's like, "Hey, stay right there." She came in the house, and she got some food out the refrigerator. I forgot what it was, and she gave it to him. And she, some days she's just I can't see people being hungry. And I'm like, in my mind, I mean, I'm young, I'm not able to understand. I'm like a teenager, but I'm thinking like, because we grew up pretty poor. You know what I mean? It was times when we really didn't have food, and I'm just looking like, how are you giving when we really don't have nothing to give? But that was just the type of person she was. She's, like she's just that person. She believed, give and you'll receive. Like she used to always tell me that, like, give and you shall receive. But that's just the type of person she was, man. She was really religious, especially later in her life. I remember, I think it was like on New Year's, maybe like 1999 or 98. She like randomly went to church with my aunt and never stopped going. Like all the way up until she got sick and couldn't go anymore, like when she had cancer and stuff. But she continued to go, continue to worship and everything. Always paid her tithes. She would send them tithes or building fund money, even while she was sick. And I used to get so mad at her, like, "Grandma, you sending, you giving this church this money, da, 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 da." And like we are like struggling, and she's like, "I gotta give to the Lord." You know what I mean? That was what she was about, and I respect it. She taught me a lot of core values, a lot of things I really believe in: respect, honesty, loyalty, just being true to what you believe in, standing for something. You know, I can't. I guess obviously I didn't always agree with everything she did or how she did it. But again, being a parent now and being an adult, I understand why she did it. Whether I still agree with it, well, I still don't agree with it is something totally different. But you have, I guess you get perspective on the things that your parents do or teach after you become one. And I mean, lying gonna lie, a lot of times when I find myself talking to my kids, yelling at my kids, I hear her. I'm like, damn, it's the same shit she was saying to me. It's like so ironic, but yeah, one thing she did teach me was the importance of family, which is again something I've been open about. I really didn't understand it or fully accept that until like the last year or so, maybe last year or two, when people started dying, and I really started to put things in perspective and like, holy shit, like this ain't forever. But she would always do everything to try to keep the family together. She would to keep the peace, like no matter what. And because again, being very young and not understanding and immature, I've always been like, once you do me foul once, like that's kind of it. I don't fuck with you ever again. And I mean, I don't even speak to you. I won't come to your funeral. Like, and she was never like that. She was really forgiving, man. I would see a lot of people be disloyal to her, misuse her, and she would just forgive it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember one time, yeah, I'll tell the story. I remember one time something happened. My aunt, and my uncle were here, and they got into a tussle. Basically, my uncle went to hit her, and he missed, and he hit my grandmom's hand. And I think he like fractured a part of her finger. She had been going to the hospital, and I was just like, in my mind, I was just like, that's some unforgivable shit because you couldn't control your temper. You know what I mean? And I mean, like the next day he was back at the house, and like I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? But now that I have kids, and now that I've been through some things, like I understand. While like that, because that's still her son. You know what I mean? She still has to love her son, or she still will love her son, and he still loves her. But I just even with like people that would like be just really, I don't want to say mean, but close enough to that, she would just be really forgiving. Like really just like allow them back in her life, and I would always be like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? I just didn't understand it. So Christmas is, we always, right up until I was like a teenager, we always, no matter what was going on, no matter if we had money, no matter if we had heat, no matter if we had food, we always had big Christmases. And I mean like every year, like every year the tree you would come downstairs, and to this day I don't know how they pulled it off, but you would come downstairs and it would be gifts from like the gift. Say the tree is like where I'm at right now. You can't see unless you're watching the video. gifts would be out like 20 feet out, like each way, and it would be gifts for every grandchild that she had. She would get something for all of her kids. Even if she got her kids, like the boys, she got them some socks or something. She would get like the girls like hats and scarves and stuff like that. And then all the kids, every kid in the family got a toy. It was insane. I'm like, as a kid, you don't know. You just think, oh, it's Christmas, and of course, I was young, like 6. You think it's Santa, whatever. But even as you got older and you saw she was still doing it, it would be like, how the fuck, like you know what I mean? Like that's her grandmom, and just making because she had this thing where she would say like, if I can't get a gift for everybody, nobody gets nothing, and she really stuck to that because I remember as she got older and times got harder. She just couldn't afford to do it. So like, even if she like in the house, like me and my sister, she would give us like money and stuff because we lived with her. So she gave us like $50 for Christmas, but then she wouldn't give nobody else. Not like she wouldn't get any other gifts. You know what I mean? And she'd be like, I only get that for y'all because y'all live with me. She says, but I'm not buying any actual gifts because I can't afford to get for everybody. And yeah, it's just I don't know. That's just the type of person she was. Again, man, like she was really good at just keeping the family together. Even the house I live in now actually belongs to her. It's just like insane to be like raising my family in the house that I was raised in. And to be honest, like it feels really safe here, even though the neighborhood sucks. Like it really does. Like when I'm at home, I'm able to. I've never had a night where like I can't sleep or like I feel like something's gonna happen. Knock on wood. But it just feels really safe. Like you feel her spirit here. You know what I mean? And actually, I have to creep you out. Literally, so actually where I recorded it, I won't creep nobody out, but we're actually directly where I recorded is literally where she passed away at. This is where her bed, because by that time she couldn't go up and down steps, so this is where her bed was at. And this is literally like where I'm sitting at. It's pretty much where she passed away at. But it's not, for me, it's not weird. It's just like, I don't know. That type of stuff doesn't bother me anyway, but yeah. I really do wish she could see like all the renovations I did to the house, because a lot of the things I did, I kind of, especially like the kitchen, I did like in her image, like or what I know that she would like. I opened the kitchen up, and I know she would have fucking loved it. She would have lost her mind if she came in here and saw like all this space to cook and to like bake and like fucking have. She would have Sunday dinner every day. Like that's the type of person she was. She loved to cook. She would cook big ass dinners. Big Sunday dinners, man. Like it's crazy. Like, and I'm again, like even I'm looking back, like how did she pull this shit off? Because she didn't work. My grandma, we were on government assistance. She would get a check from the state or whatever. I don't know how much it was for, but I know it wasn't a lot. And again, I run a household now, and I know what that shit costs to do it by yourself. So she managed that shit. I don't fucking know how. But yeah, we would have big Sunday dinners. She would have like, it would be like me, my sister, my mom, my uncles. My aunt would come over sometimes with her kids, and sometimes other relatives would come over. Like, but she would just call me like, "Hey, I'm cooking dinner today. Come on over." That was her way of keeping the family together, and like that was kind of how like I grew up. Like me and my cousins, we all grew up close together because we were always together on the weekends, like always, no matter what was going on. Too hot, too cold, we were always together. So it was really I'm just really thankful for that. Thanksgivings was the same way. Christmases, Thanksgivings, she would be up, so she would start cooking the night before. And again, it's like that bonding time. Like I remember, these are memories I have. I remember like the night before, she would give me something to do. She would ask me to like, I would either mix the cake mix, or she would give me something to do, cut these onions, whatever it is. She would give us something to do, and my sister the same. She would have us doing something with her. And back then, I mean, as a kid, when you're like trying to go downstairs and play Madden in your room, you're just like, I want to go play the game. But like now looking back, like it was like bonding time. She's like taking the time, like, yeah, we're doing housework or whatever it is, and we're preparing for the holiday, but it's really like, bonding time. Even when I look at like when we used to put the tree together, like even now, even though so the teenagers, we don't so much do it anymore. And actually, this is just the first time I put the tree up, kind of by myself. I let the kids I put the tree up, and the kids put the ornaments on. But usually, I was really big on like, no, we're all putting the tree together, together, because I did that with my grandma and my mom. Like, we would get the tree. I would bring it out the basement, and we would take everything out. She would, fix the branches and the leaves and all that shit. And then we would be decorating the house for like, I want to say like 4 or 5 hours, because she would decorate the whole house. We put lights in the windows. There would be stuff on the doors, like a wreath. There'd be things hanging off the walls, like up and down the steps. She got all these stockings. I remember she used to have stockings for everybody. This woman, I don't know where that stuff is at. It might be at my sister's house. But she had stockings for everybody. I mean, we had like stockings, like legitimately hanging for everybody in the family. It was ridiculous, in a good way. We used to have movie nights, so we never, obviously the movies was expensive, so we had a VCR. And if somebody on here doesn't know what a VCR is, you need to Google it. But so she would go buy like a bootleg Disney movie. It would, like a Lion King would come out on Friday. She would go buy the bootleg for like $5 or whatever, and would come home on a Friday night after school. She had popcorn. She used to like, so she would get popcorn, like make big things of popcorn, and she like melt some butter on the stove, like fresh butter, and put it over the popcorn. And that's what we would do. We have snacks, and we would have movie night like every other Friday, or like every 3 Fridays, whatever. Or every time a movie dropped, we would just and we would sit and we would watch movies, Disney movies. I mean, we watched Homeward Bound, Home Alone, you name it. Even Friday nights, like TGIF, we would do that together. We would watch like Family Matters, Step by Step. It was just like really family oriented, and I don't know. Like thinking about it, I feel like I need to start doing some of that shit with my kids and like make them sit down and really watch movies, like do family shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like always being on the phone, or because we didn't have that shit back then. We didn't have phone and internet and all that stuff. We didn't have cable, so it wasn't like, you didn't have really like a lot of options. It was either like go outside and play a video game, or maybe like a handheld game, but that was really about it. And she was really resourceful, and the reason she was so resourceful is because my grandma she was brought up in the country, and like down south, like country Virginia. I think it's a place called Martinsville, Virginia. She lived there, and in Axton. I think that's why she was married in Axton, and then she lived in Martinsville. But you go down there, I've been there a couple of times. It's a really nice place, but it gets dark at like 3:30. Like it is pitch black dark in the wintertime. And a lot of like snakes and shit. But they were like super resourceful again, because my grandma's born in 38, so we're talking 40s, 50s, 60s, where there wasn't a lot of things or a lot of resources for black people, so the black people had to be resourceful. So there's a lot of stuff in the house that she used to do. Like they had like remedies. They had like she know how to make bread like on the stove, like with flour and like some other stuff, water. Like she would make bread. It's the craziest thing. And again, this is like when you're like really poor, you don't have fucking food, you gotta get creative. But yeah, like she was big mama, man. Like she really was. And you don't have grandmoms. They're not the same anymore. They're just not. I remember when she died. So I'll talk about that. I remember the weeks leading up when she passed. I had talked to her. So she died the first like January 9th. So I think it was January 9th. So it's like the first and a half week of January. I remember seeing her a little bit before Christmas of that year. I think this is like '09 maybe. And I definitely talked to her, but she seemed like she was fine on the phone. And this is where like not being fully aware of what the fuck is going on. And which is why now I really be trying to spend time with people, because you never know how much time they have left. But it was really weird. So I saw her, I think, and I talked to her, and then I came down to see her again. I think my sister had called me, and she was just like, she's gotten really bad. And I was like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, no, I just talked to her. Like, what do you mean? This was the day before she passed. So I remember I came here with the kids and their mom. We came here like after we both got out of work, came to see her, and she was like out of it. Her eyes were like rolling behind her head, and like I came over, and just I think I grabbed her hand. I was talking to her, and it was really, it was hard, man. It was really like rough, because I don't know. I felt like it seems like your grandma's supposed to live forever. You know what I mean? She's like that one person. She's like the matriarch. She's like the head of everything. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. It's like the heart to the family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I mean? And the family's the body, but like she's the heart. and it's just like cancer took her out in a matter of weeks, yo. And it was I don't it was a really I remember the next morning my sister called me and she's like, "Oh, can you get here?" And I was just like, again, like hoping that's not what it was for. And I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Can you come stay with mommy?" I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" You know, because I was just in the house, and she's like, and I think she didn't want to tell me on the phone. She's like, "Grandmom died," and I was just like, I remember I just like lost it, man. It was like I think, um, other than like when Jamar passed away, because that was like unexpected. But like when my grandma died, like I mean, that was I was in like a really bad like mental space, depressed. Like it just that shit really hurt. Like I just remember getting here, then like all the family was here, and it's just like it just was really sad because like we knew it was coming, but nobody was ready for that shit, man. Like nobody, and people are still probably recovering from that. Like I think like I think when you lose anyone that's super important to you and they've been like a really big part of your life, I don't whether it's sudden, expected, out of nowhere, whatever it is. I think that's something that like that's gonna be with you forever. You know what I mean? You can't just like get over because there are things that happen throughout your life. Me being a grandson now with kids and watching my kids grow up, you know, there's a big part of me that's just like, man, I wish she was here. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish she had the opportunity to see all my kids grow up. Like I think she would. I think particularly with Jordan because Jordan has so much energy. I think she would like really. She would love all my kids, but she would really enjoy Jordan because Jordan, um, she's so animated. She has good energy about it. Emma too. But I could just see her sitting there playing with Jordan. I gotta find a picture because my sister made like a little DVD. I gotta find it. It's packed down somewhere. But she made like a little DVD after my grandma died. It was just like a bunch of pictures and some music on there, but a bunch of pictures of like the family and stuff. And there's a picture on there of Gabby actually and my grandma. They're like right over there by the window. Cause my grandma used to sit in this chair in the window. I got a story about that too. And like it's kind of weird. Like Gabby's standing in front of her, but like the sun is shining through the window, through the blinds, just right. That like all you kind of see, you see their faces, but you just see like after that you see their shadows. And I gotta see if Tammy has that picture. If she does, I want it. I want to frame it and blow it up. But yeah, so it's funny. Many of the funny stories about my grandmom sitting in this window. Like whenever you would walk up, you would see her in the window because she would have one blind, like literally one blind would be up just enough for her to see out of it, and she'd be sitting there in the window looking out the window. It's the funniest thing, and that's like, so she could see who's coming. It would be funny. It was just times where like somebody coming that she didn't want to see. She would get up and go upstairs, go to the bathroom, go in her room, like whatever. Like it's so funny because and that's the type of person like and I doesn't that's not like a bad thing about her. It's just that she didn't want to turn anybody away. But the same token, she's like, I don't really have time for this person today. She would go upstairs in her room. But yeah, my grandma again, she was the best. She was dope as hell, man. Uh, just I don't know. I'll tell you now, if you have your grandmother, man, cherish them, appreciate them, spend time with them. You know, like really spend time with them. Make sure your kids spend time with them. You know, again, like my mom, obviously my mom is here, and I need to do a better job of spending time with her again, because like life gets you busy, and you got kids, and we're tired. Like, it's been many a time where like I plan to go see my mom, even though we just went to see her a couple weeks ago, but I plan to go see my mom, and I get up or I had to work, and I get in, and I'm just like, man, I'm cooked, I'm tired, I want to sleep, but I think you have to like just cherish people, period. But them grandmothers, man, because they're like grandmothers, like real grandmothers, are becoming extinct. You know, if you look around again, you don't see like grandmoms are like 37, they're like 40. You know what I mean? Grandmoms are my age. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Even now, like my mom, she's approaching 70, so my kids have a 70-year-old grandmother, which is great. But like I don't like even people that are my age. I know people that are my age and their mothers are like 52, and I'm like, wow, that's young. It's not old, but it's not like I don't. That's like 52 is grandma for like Jordan, but being 52 and like your grandchild is 20 or something like that. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a that means that you were grandmom at like 30 something. So I just feel like at different point, like you had the life experiences, which what really makes them um, like important. You know what I mean? Because they have the information they can give you whether you listen or not. Because Lord knows I ain't listening to shit. Um, but yeah, life comes at you fast, man. I became a parent, like I was out the house, which is how I ended up missing so much time with her. So like I was with her every day until I was 18. And then of course you get 18, get a little girlfriend, and y'all doing the family thing, you're having kids, and we move out, we're on our own. And after that, like you go from being around your folks, you don't even realize it. I was so focused on let me get out and have my own. You don't realize what you're giving up. Seeing your parents every day, seeing your folks every day. And I saw something online, actually not too long ago, that talked about that. It said something like you spend every day of your life up until you're 18 or whenever you move out with your parents, your siblings, whoever. And then literally after the minute you move out, if you don't ever move back, you literally probably see those people less than 100 days the rest of your life. Because especially if you move out of state, you're only seeing them holidays. So you got what, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, birthdays. That's like 4 times out the year. And if you do the math over, so if you only see them those 4 times throughout the year, or maybe 5, over the next 10 years, you're only going to see them. That's 50 times. Over the next 20, it's 100. Because more than likely, hope not, knock on wood, but most people lose their parents or their grandparents when you're in your mid to late 30s. So you don't have a lot of time, man. You really don't. My grandma had the best heart. Again, which is probably why I'm so giving and so nice for the most part. But with that being said, I'm no longer giving people shit. And I don't want to get too far into that, but I don't know, something that's actually been bugging at me probably mostly this morning. I was tricky this morning, but over the last couple of days, it's just people that like always want to borrow or always need something from you, and like full damn well that they can't reciprocate. But on top of that, why the fuck when people borrow shit from you, it could be an item, it could be money, whatever it is, why I gotta go through hell to get it back from you? Like, why I gotta become a dick to get my shit back? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I could let you borrow a car, I could let money, whatever it is, clothes, anything. Why I gotta remind you to bring my shit back? Like, why is it up to me? You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to remind you to come borrow it. So some people are just fucked up human beings, and I've begun and have accepted that. Some people are just shitty human beings. But I just, the mother, that's crazy. I wrote down address the hoe that owes me money. And it's supposed to say who. But there's somebody out here that there's actually 2 people that have been like, and of course it's through other people that I hear it, that have been like talking like ridiculously bad about me. And I'm no way, shape, or form a perfect person. I'm not ever gonna portray myself to be. But one of them I spoke about not too long ago, that somebody that I really looked out for. I made sure like they have a home right now because of me, no matter how you cut it, shape it, whatever. And then the other person, actually similar, the other person I took care of for a very long time. I mean, a very long time, you know what I mean? Took care of them and a kid that wasn't mine for a very long time. So when I hear these things, and it's like, if I like for people to tell the entire truth. I'm never gonna tell you like a one side of the story to make it seem like I'm like this saint. Like, no, I'll tell you whatever it is I did wrong first, and then I'll tell you what they did wrong. And whatever however you feel about the information I gave you, it is what it is. But and that's just, again, back to not being perfect. I ain't perfect. I don't fucked up in life. I probably done people wrong. I told y'all last week I hit up somebody that I used to talk to, and I apologized to her, because now just being 37 and looking back on it, because I really do look back on a lot of shit now that I've been through, and understanding like, damn. And it's not, and she wasn't perfect on her end either, but it wasn't even about that. It was just like, yo, I really like looking at it like I really hurt that person. And it wasn't their, like the hurt that I caused them wasn't their fault. Like they didn't ask for that. You know what I mean? If it was something that they did that caused me to react that way, yeah. But no, this is something that was like I had going on with me that I had no idea was going on with me. So yeah, I owe them an apology, whether it's 10 years too late or whatever. But I reached out and hey, I need to let you know this. I'm really sorry. Da 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 da. And just own again, taking ownership of our actions. But but yeah, to be out here, fucking talking crazy on my name, and I shouldn't even put this on this episode, but because we was moving so positive, but yeah, just I really I don't appreciate that. I really don't, and I'm actually like I don't yeah. I'm a address the person directly when I see them because I'm gonna see them very soon. And I don't mean that in like there's nothing physical going on. The wife's going to jail, but yeah, sometimes you gotta like get face to face with people. Yo, I know what the fuck you said, and I don't know why you said it, but you know what I am to you and what I've done for you, and like let's not forget that. Like you cannot be cool for whatever reason, like, but if honestly in both these situations, both the people, I felt like because they owe me, that was their resort to you know what? Let me stop fucking with him so I ain't gotta pay him back. You know what I mean? And I think that's some coward shit. That's some scumbag shit, man. I would much rather say whether if you owe me an item or I lost it, I misplaced it, I broke it, whatever happened, something got fucked up, bleach got on it, whatever it is. If it's money, I can't afford to get it to you. Whatever it is, just be honest about it. Because for me, honesty is always like the most important thing in any relationship or friendship, any type of encounter I'm having with people. That's the most important thing for me. So if you're honest with me and that's the way you move, we'll be fine. But when you start lying on my name and talking crazy like that shit ain't cool. Because I really do move with love. I move with love always. My message of the day, I'm pretty sure I left out something about my grandma. But again, and I'm really thankful for my grandma. She's the GOAT. She's the greatest. I hope she sees everything that I'm doing down here getting bad. I hope she's proud of me. And yeah, man, like I said, I move with love. And it's only because of her that I move that way, because that's what she's instilled in me. That's what she taught me. My message of the day is call someone you haven't talked to in a little. That a little while that you may be taking for granted. It could be anybody, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, somebody you taking for granted that was there for you. And somehow y'all just got space between y'all may have fell off, but just reach out to them. Rekindle that friendship, or fix it or address it, because life is fucking quick, y'all. Life is short. And you just don't take it for granted. I'm plugging today. I'm going to plug Liquid Gold shampoo bars. Now, let me tell you about these Liquid Gold shampoo bars. Shampoo bars. They're exactly what they are. It's a bar, but it's a soap bar, but it's shampoo. I washed my hair with it a couple days ago before I went and got my retwist. And when I tell you, now I'm used to washing my hair with shampoo, and obviously I have a lot of hair. It takes me about an hour or so to get the fucking suds out my hair. This shampoo bar, not only that it felt like it was cleaning my hair, like I could feel it, but it washed out so easily, which is really important on somebody that has a crazy time schedule. I was only in the shower about a total of 20-25 minutes. I put the water in, I washed straight out. Literally just take the bars and wash back and forth. And my hair, like I could see the dirt coming out my hair. And it smells great. My hair feels great. My scalp feels good. And of course, after I got done washing my hair with the Liquid Gold Herb shampoo bar, what did I put in my hair? Liquid Gold hair oil. So if you need some products for your hair, please reach out. liquidgoldherbs_.com. I'm pretty sure I plugged it before, but she has a new product, so I'm dropping it here because anything I use, I want y'all to use. And it just made my hair feel really good, and my hair is looking great. My hair has always looked great, but I feel like it's looking better now. It looks cleaner. It has a different texture. It's shinier. It's definitely growing faster. Like I had so much new growth when I went back. I probably had like a half inch, almost maybe 3/4 of an inch of new growth, and I get my hair done every 6 weeks. So reach out to her. It's a new product she's got out. She got some more shit on the way. As always, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Until next time, peace.